So sit with me, grab yourself a hot drink, and we're going to discuss everyone is yourself and everything is yourself pushed out. What does this actually mean? Because the way that it's been taught, I suppose, on a lot of channels, not all of them, but a lot of places, I've seen things projected about they're thinking what you're thinking, right? Your SP is thinking exactly what you're thinking, and you can control them like they're puppets as a result of everyone being yourself pushed out. Now we're going to go into this from a matter of fact, real life, psychological perspective as well, that you can test, that you can see for yourself, that makes sense. I always talk from experience, and we're going to break down what is everyone and everything is yourself pushed out. How can you use this to your advantage when you're manifesting a specific outcome with specific people, or when you're just working your way through life on your bridge of events to realizing your dreams and goals, be it whatever it might be, relationship, health, wealth. This is all the same. Everyone and everything is yourself pushed out. Let's go into it in this video. But before we deep dive into this, I just want to welcome you all to my channel. I'm Athena Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, and I'm here to empower and inspire you on this manifestation journey using my 20 years of experience to teach you what this is all about, using my own experiences, that of my clients, people I have worked with, and experiences that you guys can also reflect upon and realize, okay, yes, that actually makes sense, because all this time you've been manifesting. You're not just living life now that you've become aware and awake to it all. You've been going through this all your life. But I'm going to break it down for you in a really simple way so that you can fully understand this. And if this kind of content helps you, want me to keep on producing more, then please do like and subscribe, because it really helps this channel to grow. Let's reach a wider audience of people who are going through the same thing, the same dilemmas, the same confusion, and let's create a little safe space for all of us to share in our successes. I want all your successes, guys, so keep on posting your successes in the description, in the comment section. As for me to post in the description, in the comment section. What is going on? It's been one of those days, but I got some props, okay, because I think this is the best sort of way to demonstrate these concepts to you, especially if you're relatively new to them. They can be very confusing, and there's an oversaturation of content and coaches, but very inexperienced coaches who are talking from their perception, as we all do. We're all living life through our perception, right? But the incorrect teachings can have quite a toxic impact on people's life, can cause a lot of confusion. So let's clarify, straighten this up. I'm going to try and make this as straightforward as possible. So everyone and everything yourself pushed out, right? So I am, as Athena, living my life through the perspective of Athena and all the labels that I have attached to myself, all the beliefs that I've taken on from birth to this point. I've been experiencing and exposed to various things around me, and I've attached meaning to it. I've made it mean something. I have shaped who I am based on some of the things that I have seen as well, and I've chosen these labels so that Athena is quite a unique perspective, right? She is her own unique entity, and everyone as well is all going through the same. We are all coming from the same source, the one God, one source. Universe is one voice, right? So there's one major source, but we've been split up into all these different perspectives, basically, because consciousness wants to have a human experience, and so let's have a human experience from the viewpoint of John and Gary and Sarah and Athena and all the rest of it. And of course, what shapes our world is how we see ourselves in relation to it, the beliefs that we have, the assumptions that we've taken on. So I have shaped myself a certain way, and I'm living life. How cool is this, huh? What do you think? So now I'm living life through this lens, okay? So these are all my assumptions. This is a representation of all of my assumptions and beliefs. For example, in terms of, let's pick one thing, the most favorite sort of popular thing is going to be SPs, right? But this is for everything, like I say. My assumptions about how I see myself in relationships, and how I see myself in relation to someone that I love, a specific person or just lovers in general, and how I see my relationships with friends and family and things like that. I've got these assumptions. I believe that I'm a really good friend, but I also believe that guys just, love you and leave you. And I also believe that you can't trust men because they're going to cheat. And I've come across these beliefs. I've just labeled myself this way. I'm always going to be unlucky in love, or so I'm looking at life through this lens, which means that I can see things a certain way. It's filtering out anything in opposition to these assumptions, and it's filtering in everything that is further confirming my assumptions. That's how the mind works. That's your reticular activating system, your confirmation bias. There's too much information to take in, so it only is going to filter in and filter out what it deems important, and the mind is impartial. So whatever I assume to be true, that's what I'm going to continue to see life through, this particular lens. Right, okay, in this relationship, in this situation, my SP didn't text me back straight away. Suddenly they don't love me. Suddenly they could be seeing someone else. Oh my God, suddenly it's all going wrong based on this lens. Now, when I shift my state of being, and of course we've talked about this in previous videos, I've shifted my state. I've decided that I'm just going to take these assumptions off in regards to relationships. It's the same for money. I might have assumptions and beliefs that money always, is hard to come by. I've got to work hard for money, right? Those are my assumptions. Again, I'm looking at life through this lens. I'm experiencing that. I'm going to filter out every eventuality, every opportunity, every fact that might come my way that might be in opposition to this. I'm just going to filter it out because I want to see all the examples of when I've had to work hard for money. I want to see only that, because these are the glasses I'm wearing. These are my assumptions. This is the filter. So I'm going to take this off. I've decided. We've all decided, right? Enough is enough. We want to change now. And we can do that through various means. Like I say, I use modalities of therapy for myself, for my clients, imaginal acts, for doing it, just using manifestation processes. Let me imagine the alternative. Let me imagine the version of myself who doesn't have to work hard for money, for money comes so easily to me. It flows in through all these different ways and means. I see it. I feel it. I feel that financial abundance. I feel that stability. Relationships come easily to me. I'm just going to decide that, no, I'm going to change my perspective, that guys are reliable. The guys that I come across are loyal. They will not cheat. They will love me for who I am. I'm going to decide that this is the new version of me, that I am respected in relationships, that I am loved, that I am safe and secure and chosen. So we've taken off this old assumption, doesn't suit us anymore. And I've gone to the I am. In fact, if you do an I am meditation, which maybe that could be one of my next hypnosis, because I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to do another hypnosis. What would you like the next one to be? Maybe we can do that where we're literally just stripping ourselves of all these labels and all of our old assumptions that do not serve us well. And we're stepping into the state of I am, just pure I am, just I am. I'm not even Athena at this point. I just am. Consciousness, awareness, infinite. Let me get back in touch with my source. The one source, okay? The one universe, God, whatever you want to call it, right? The one source of it all. Let me go back and get in touch with that. And let me just be nothing and everything all at once. And now I'm going to choose from that state, which I think some people are calling it the void state, whatever. There's all these like fancy terminology. Like I said, I'm a bit old school. I studied this like 20 years ago. I got into the law and I've been utilizing it. But all these fancy phrases that everyone's coming out with now, I didn't even know what BBL was apart from Brazilian butt lift, but that birds before land, I didn't know what that was. What are these terms? Where are people coming up with it? I don't know. But anyway, I've gone into this nothingness state. And from here, I'm going to shape myself. And I decided this is who I am now. In relation to money, this is how I choose to see myself and how I choose to see money, despite what my 3D circumstances have been thus far, despite what my circumstances are currently showing me, i.e. my empty bank account. I'm going to choose and see that I am chosen by people in relationships in regards to my SP, with regards to my family members and my friends. I'm just going to choose to see that. Because I am that. I decide that. So I'm going to naturally see this. So now I've shaped myself some new assumptions. How does this one look? Is this one any better? Sorry about this. I couldn't figure out any other way to demonstrate this for you guys, but now I've got this new assumption. So I'm wearing the new lens, and I wish actually it was a different color lens because that would be quite cool. But let's just say now I'm filtering out more and more of the negative. I'm aware that it's there, but my focus and attention isn't really there because my new state of I am, i.e., I am stable and safe and secure and chosen and prioritized in relationships. I am financially abundant and wealthy. I am in good, perfect health. Right now, life is looking very, very different. And as a result of that, everything I see is going to be through the lens of this new state. And I'm going to shape it and perceive things a certain way based on the fact that now I'm wearing these glasses and life looks a little bit different. My 3D circumstances haven't changed all that much, but it looks like it has changed because the lens is a slightly different color now that I'm looking through it. Everything looks that bit different. Now, instead of obstacles, I'm seeing opportunities. Now, instead of freaking out that my SP didn't contact me straight away, seeing it as they don't love me, they're not prioritizing me, this is some sort of gameplay. Now seeing it as, yeah, life is life and they're getting in touch. And actually imagine they choose to message me at the end of the day, or they choose to, I'm going to see it differently based on these glasses, right? So everyone and everything is yourself pushed out is essentially that, is that you're seeing yourself in this mirror of life. All I am seeing and experiencing with people that I meet around me, with things that happen in my life, it's always a reflection of myself. Now, that's not to say that you're not going to come across, because you'll be the best manifester in the world. You're going to come across negative people, on social media, we're going to come across trolls and things like that all the time. Did I manifest that unconsciously? Did I deserve it? Do I blame myself for getting into a predicament where someone has treated me badly or abused me? Is that to do with me? Not as such, no. That could be your bridge of events leading up to something. But remember, everyone is your messenger, and they are reflecting themselves too. So if you come across someone who is negative, remember, they're coming in as a messenger, and it would take for them to be your messenger because they already have this perception of themselves. If they perceive themselves and life as a failure, as a misery, they're going to, misery loves company. So you'll see that they'll project that poison sort of thing, that venom onto you as well. Now, okay, I'm seeing it as a projection of them, but also what it is, okay, if it's myself pushed out as well, this is playing a part to my bigger manifestation, this incident here. And how I choose to perceive it is a reflection of me. Do I choose to feel like I'm the victim here being attacked? Or do I choose to see it as some sort of opportunity, putting me into action for something? This is what it's all about. Does this make sense? I'll give you another example, because like I say, everyone and everything, it's always reflecting you. So for example, when I got the job at the bank, I've mentioned this before, I got my I guess it was kind of my dream job. Essentially, I didn't say that I wanted to work in a bank. My desire was to be my own boss and work my own hours and work a lot less for a lot more money. And I had 3D circumstances, all my colleagues and that telling me, no, you can't. You need to learn a new skill if you want to be your own boss, if you want to go as a limited company, if you want to do this, that, and the other. And I disregarded it and I stuck to that goal. And out of nowhere, my friend gets in touch in the middle of the night. We have a conversation, and suddenly this job role that ticks everything in my list, again, it's that list, ticks every attribute, every quality that I wanted, lands essentially in my lap. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't search for it. I didn't send my CV out, nothing. Anyway, because I'd never been in this sort of situation before, the insecure part of me that felt like an imposter that you sometimes get when you're at these new jobs, right? I'd never worked in a situation like this, on a project like this, in a very corporate feeling environment as well. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like I wasn't perhaps producing value as a result. I felt like an imposter. But at the same time, next to that, I knew and I had faith in who I was in terms of my skill. I always saw myself as a great communicator, great with people, fantastic in a team. So I had these these assumptions, okay, these core beliefs. And so what happened was I had the one side of my work that absolutely loved me, that put me in managing a huge team, part of the project, that I would be the one who would be that we were calling them, what were they called? Like scrum ceremonies. I mean, those of you who worked in agile environment will know what I'm talking about. But essentially, yes, I was like the scrum master of this major team, and it was on a big scale. And it was just fantastic because people could come to me. They felt comfortable to communicate with me. It was something I always believed in. People feel comfortable to share with me what's going on, share the potential failures that are going in the team so that we could fix it. And it was wonderful. However, so I've got the one side that was reflecting all this wonderfulness, the stuff that I truly believed about myself. But then we had the other side, the contractors that perhaps were a little bit chauvinistic, right? So it took for them to also be my messenger. And although they were reflecting their chauvinistic side, their negative beliefs about women and all the rest of it, that was what they were projecting. At the same time, they had to be my messenger to come into my life to then question me. And they questioned and reflected everything that I had worried about, what kind of value do you bring? Do you know the amount of times that they would put me in that position? There was 3 of them in particular that would just be like, what value do you bring? What exactly do you do? And I knew it was very undermining. Now, of course, because this was my insecurity and I was questioning my value, they came and reflected that to me. Remember, there's no free will here. We're all reacting from our states of consciousness, and we get to choose our state. We get to choose it. But once you've occupied a state, you're on autopilot. Your thoughts and your actions and your reactions, it's all coming from the state. But that's not to say that they're your puppets, that they can be controlled and I can change their thought. It's not about them. It's still about me and the way that I'm choosing to perceive what they're saying. So I could have chosen to see it as, oh my God, they're right. I bring no value. I'll question myself. I'll leave my job, depending. Or I could choose to see it as, okay, I've realized what's happening here. And maybe I have been questioning my value. But maybe I should, as a result of that, turn my attention to the fact that the other side of the company really reveres me and have told me how well I'm doing. And I'm going to stick to that. And I'll make that my core assumption. And I'll choose to see more of that. I'll choose to keep these glasses on instead of these ones, choose to keep the more positive. And we don't have to be positive, but you know what I mean? It's like, okay, my outcome is this. My outcome was, my desire was to really make a thing of that job, to get as much out of it as I could, to learn a lot, to get a lot of money out of it. And what should have been a 4-month position, as a result of my shift, as a result of listening to my messengers, even the negative ones, because they were still reflecting me, I chose to turn the message around to put me into the other state of, yes, actually, no, I know my worth and I know they want to keep me and I know my value. And a 4-month job turned into, I think it was 2.5 years, but I was essentially the last man standing. I was the last one on the job, They kept me to the bitter end right after the project had finished and they were letting all the contractors go. I should have also gone. And those guys who were higher up than me that were questioning my value, they were let go ages ago. We can, of course, change how people act and react to us. And we know that. Again, we're not controlling them. You see, I've spoken about it before with SP manifestations. We see even with that situation of work with that guy talking to me that way and telling me, questioning me about my value and my worth. And he also said some horrible things and some, and I won't kind of go into it, but it was really quite hurtful. And I remember on that particular scenario, I went to bed in my hotel room because I was working up in Edinburgh at the time. And I went up to my hotel room and I decided to fall asleep revising that scene, what I would have preferred to have heard from this person. Now, I wasn't doing it to change him and to change his opinion on me and get him to like me and all the rest of it. I did it for myself. I did it because I perceived this a certain way, in a negative way. I really made it question myself because all he was doing was reflecting my assumptions, my insecurities anyway. And I can be sure of that because my reaction told me that, yes, I really took it on board. It really hurt me. because of course, you know, I was thinking, yeah, this is brought to light that I don't truly believe in myself and my worth when it comes to this job. So I've got to change this. So I started to feel out my worth again in this job. And I started to see him congratulating me in my mind as I fell asleep that night. And I kid you not, the next day, he must have felt quite, this particular contractor must have felt particularly upset about what he did and how he came across. And so he didn't show up at work the next day in the office, but he did text me, which is unheard of. I'd never received a text from him before. Then he got it off the system at work because we had all our contact details there, so we were all contactable. And yeah, and he apologized and essentially congratulated me, because I'd always been, the one thing about me, and you notice this from my channel, from my work, is that I'm very open, and I will share with you the good, the bad, the mistakes that I've made, the failures that I've had, as well as the successes. I mean, I'm painting a real picture for you guys. You know, it's not airy fairy, all easy, a few affirmations and they become obsessed. This is not it. This is not how it works. And so he congratulated me because I was very open and honest with him about the stuff that I had gone through, the fears that I had faced, and feeling quite vulnerable. And so he said to me, you know, you're a really strong person, and, you know, congratulations, you've done really well for yourself. And I'm not sure why I said what I said, but I shouldn't have done. I understand that it was wrong. And then I heard quite soon after that he left the company. So, of course, that wasn't my intention that he would leave, but essentially he reflected what I had assumed of myself. And in me revising it, in reframing what happened, instead of me seeing myself as a victim to what he had said, he had to, as my messenger, he had to conform and give me the alternative message. Give me the message that actually, you know what, you are a character of strength. You are a success. You've done really, really well, because I decided to see myself that way. And so I changed my perspective on him by revising it. I changed my perspective in relation to someone like him, someone who was quite high up in the company as well, a real authority figure, very experienced, friends in high places, the kind that you would not mess with. And I chose to see myself. I didn't choose to see him up there on a pedestal like we all do with our SPs, right? Up on the pedestal. No, they're on my level, and they're always reflecting me. And so that's why your 3D is always your messenger. You choose how you wish to see this, how you wish to perceive this. Do you want another example? I'll give you another example. And I'm so sorry, darling, if you're watching this. I love this girl to bits. She knows I'm not calling her out, and I'm not going to name and shame her in any way. But I will use this as an example with her even. I was coaching with her yesterday. You know who you are, babe. And she's already a success in my eyes. She's had successes already. But you see, she was wearing the glasses of, I'm not chosen. And so SP has gotten in touch with her, by the way, which is the update that I've yet to give you guys. But we're going to share that when she shares her full success story, which she will. And SP is in her life, right? Messaging. However, he's not messaging enough. He's messaging maybe once or twice a day. There's these long delays. And so I'm not chosen is seeing this in the most detrimental, horrible way, to which she is in such devastation when I talk to her, because she's literally seeing it. It's not working. I'm not made for relationships. This is falling apart. He doesn't care. I was like, are you kidding me, girl? Are you kidding me? Let's take these glasses off and let's just see it for what it is right now. We shifted her state by getting her to see the alternative perspective. And I threw evidence at her because I worked with her before. So I had all this slew of evidence to chuck in her path. And I said to her, which is what a lot of you are going through, you're refusing to see the alternative perspective. You need to step out of yourself and have a look at this objectively. How can we look at this? Because I was like, look, you're the first person he contacts in the morning and the last person at night. He's busy as doing his studies at the moment. Okay, life is getting in the way. We don't want to perceive him as busy because we don't want to manifest that he's too busy for you. But essentially, he is. Let's focus on the fact that he is in communication. He doesn't owe you this at the moment. You're not back together yet. You're still on your bridge unfolding. So let's start to see it for what it is. Let's start to see the positive, because I trust you. It's not to do with your SP. It's not to do with anyone and anything on the outside. It's to do with yourself. You do the imaginal act to change yourself. You revise to change yourself. And so you shift your state and perception to change yourself so that you can experience this differently. And once I got it through to her, which took a little bit of badgering, we chiseled away, didn't we, hun? And we got there. And then with her realizing, she was like, you know what? I know that he wouldn't hurt me. I know that because it went from he's doing this to play games, he's doing this to spite me, to literally within, I don't know, a couple of hours, because we were coaching throughout the day on WhatsApp. Within a couple of hours, she was just like, you're right, you know, no, he's a beautiful person and he does this. And she started to bring to the fore all of the wonderful things, all the things that were working in her favor. And then she messages me this morning, although I didn't see it till this afternoon. And she's like, this is how he messages me. And then it was like, oh my God, 10 messages. He responded and addressed every single thing I had said, every single thing that I had mentioned in my previous video. The reason why he doesn't like to respond as much throughout the day, well, first up, he doesn't have the time to, but the reason why he doesn't just send an acknowledgement going, oh, I'm busy, is because he thinks it's rude. He would rather just get the day done, sit down, look at her messages, and actually go through it piece by piece by piece, responding to everything, addressing everything. I said, does that sound like someone who doesn't care? No. But you see, if you're wearing the wrong lens, guys, you're going to see things a certain way. You're going to see things in a way that doesn't serve your purpose. That's why change is all about self. And that's how everyone and everything is yourself pushed out, because how you're perceiving them, what you're seeing in them and their actions and the things they say is telling you a lot about yourself. You don't like it? Revise it, change it. I've got the guided revision on my YouTube under my guided techniques. I get a lot of success with that. Change what they said, reframe it for yourself, not for them. Reframe it and make that your new memory so that you change, that you don't carry the past stuff with you, so you can forgive what was said. And then you can experience a new version. Choose to see them differently. Choose to see your circumstances differently. Choose to see your health and the money situation differently, that it's all working out for you, that you are healthy, that your body wants to naturally go back to a state of health. That's what it's designed to do. That money, there is so much money on this planet in your country. Surely, you know, it's going to find its way to you. Think of all the different ways money could come to you. Let's stop thinking scarcity. Let's start thinking in abundance. And that's going to help you as well. So I really hope that this video helped to cut all the rubbish and the nonsense that's out there. And are they thinking my thoughts? And that you're not transferring anything onto them. Yes, they'll reflect your thoughts that come from your beliefs. Thoughts that come from your core, not the thoughts that you're affirming, not the thoughts that you are forcing, but the thoughts that come as a manifestation of your core belief. They'll reflect that, whether it's the insecure stuff or the positive stuff, because they don't have a choice. They are moved to do that. We're all moved by each other's intentions, by each other's self-concept. But it's always about you at the end of the day. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your wonderful support and comments from the video that Joseph and I did together as well. I love you all. I'll see you for our Wish Fulfilled Success Story Friday, and enjoy the rest of your week. Catch you soon.